nerds, and welcome to The Gunner. My name is Steve-O, the host of The Gunners Podcast. This is episode 20 of the third season of The Gunners Podcast, and we're talking about...
Steve.
What's wrong? What's wrong? Oh,
Now
are you off
a little
camera?
closer.
Oh, yeah. I actually hadn't heard... You had liked the Facebook post, and so I was like, I'm pretty sure Alex is coming.
Yeah.
But then it was like, we were just getting set up, and I was like, well, now I'm not sure Alex is coming. And I tweaked the camera. That's okay. No technical issues today. Today we're going to be talking about the worst endings in gaming, even the worst final bosses. So get ready to give us your trash, your dumpster fires, the games that really let you down. It could have been a fantastic game otherwise, or maybe the whole game was garbage, including the ending. But as long as the ending was garbage, we want to hear from you. Joining me today is Alex.
Hey guys.
Jam and Amon.
Gemini.
I'm going to get it.
I wanted to correct you, but I also...
I saw it in your face.
You're not going to learn...
I saw your teacher face go...
That's not the name. That's not his preferred noun, Steve. That's not his preferred noun.
And just gravy, baby.
Yeah, or Jables, JB, whatever.
Jables, JB, Rage Cage, Jam.
Definitely Rage
JB. And at the end is Queen Weeb, Bree Senpai.
Oh, hello.
Are you going to go by Bree Senpai on Mixer, or are you going to be Adventure Lady on Mixer?
So, okay, I had to tell you all this story just really quick.
Yeah.
So, there's a girl named Bree Senpai on Mixer already.
What?
But the thing was, I had put Bree Senpai because that's my name on TikTok on my Instagram. I was like, at Bree Senpai, TikTok. And she messaged me and she was like, this is how I found her. Like, she found me. And she was like, you tagged me. And I was like, no, I didn't. And I was like, my name's Bree Senpai. She was like, mine is too. I was like, dude, cool. So, like, after that, like, we just talk all the time and, like, just mess each other. I was like,
new best friend.
I was like, you know what, girl? I'm going to change my name. You can keep it. You already have, like, she's a partner with Mixer. And so
Okay.
I was like, I'm going to change my name.
Yeah.
I was like, so you keep yours.
Defer to
the
partner.
Yeah.
Defer to the partner.
I was like, you got Mixer. I got TikTok.
Bree Kohai, then.
It's good. And so, yeah.
Bree.
Cool. Found
Bree.
your twins. Found your little
There's
twin.
upperclassman, senpai, and then I think it's Kohai.
Can we call you Bricola? Is that a good nickname, or is that a bad
It sounds like a
nickname?
cheese.
No, I'm good.
Ani, hey, welcome to the show.
But yeah, that's
the
what
nicest.
happened.
That's the
why.
nicest. No, you're. No, I'm good.
Yeah, that's why I put on Instagram
Okay.
that I was changing my name to Adventure Lady, which is my Xbox Live name because
Right.
I didn't want to. That was her name already.
So is
She was on there
everything
before
going to
me.
be Adventure Lady?
No, just on Mixer.
Just Mixer. Okay,
Yeah.
Bree
Okay.
Senpai cosplay.
It's
and then Adventure Lady on
I have
Mixer.
everything
Okay.
else.
Right.
I just don't have
That's
Mixer.
good.
Like,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She got me on Mixer, but
Sell
I have everything else.
it to her for 10 grand.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's really good at Fortnite. I watch her play Fortnite.
Really?
Yeah, she gets popular. She's
I
popular for
watched
Fortnite.
Ninja and Trevor Noah play Fortnite,
What?
and that was a good show.
Trevor
Like,
Noah?
it was
Okay.
funny.
Ninja is
Yeah.
really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's funny sometimes.
He
Yeah.
reminds me a lot of Joseph Valero, who used to write the webcomics that we did for Angry
Oh,
Cuddles.
okay, yeah.
His sense of humor is like Joseph's. Obviously, it's a lot more like refined, like because he's a professional comedian.
Yeah.
But all of the notes and like the things he said, I felt like I could anticipate the jokes because it reminded me so much.
You
of
know,
our
his
friend Joseph.
parents, I wonder what his parents think. Because parents were like, you know, you're never going to get anywhere playing video games, okay? You need to go to school, you need to get educated.
ninjas.
And he's like, what are you talking about? I get paid millions to play video games. Oh, and by the way, here's all the celebrities I've gotten. Mom,
Mom, want me Drake?
Like
He was on
this.
Family Feud. They were on Family Feud, like playing for charity. I was like, Ninja, really?
No, that was not supposed to be shots fired. It was just.
now, if Joseph was successful and funny and still around, he would be Ninja. No.
Love you, Joseph. Mwah.
Well, it's just like the beauty of, or just not, I don't know, just whatever it is today. It's like, man, like when we were younger, we get told that all the time. It's like, wish I wouldn't have had that stupid mentality.
Well, the hard thing is, like, as a teacher, I can't use that anymore. Like, hey, you can't sit at home and play video. Damn it, they can.
Damn, these little bastards.
My tests, okay?
please.
So you guys in chat, what have you been playing? And you guys here in the studio, what have you been playing? Bree, what have you been playing?
Okay, season 3 of Apex started.
Oh yeah, new map.
New map, like completely new map.
Isn't there like a
and new
lava map,
character.
crazy stuff like that? Did I remember
It's kind of mixed. Like one half is like lava because it's in the meltdown, and then like in the center, I don't know why. Like I keep questioning it. Like every time I play with someone, I'm like, y'all, why is there ice here? Like why is there ice? Who did this? I was like, is it the meltdown or like I'm confused? I was like, why is there ice here? Everyone's like, I don't know, Brie. I don't know. I'm like, I don't know.
I need some answers.
And then there's like a whole city, and everyone just calls it Tilted because it's literally like
It's like Tilted Towers.
Yeah, but you can't go all the way up because you can't like build and like destroy an Apex. Like it's just like 2 floors.
Okay.
And, like some of them are like 3 floors, but Man, I tell you what, the other day though, I was killing it. I got like 3 kills in a row. I mean, 3 wins.
What.
And I was like,
Wait,
yeah.
3 wins in a row?
Yes.
3 match wins in a row?
Yes.
Oh, congratulations. We
Yeah.
give her a little bit of hand there. That's
I was
great
so
stuff.
happy.
Apex is the hardest Royale game to me. I think Apex is harder than
It's
Fortnite.
very
I think it's harder.
fast-paced.
It's so fast,
Like,
and your aim
it's-
has to be.
Yeah.
I mean, all of them, your aim does have to be kind of spot on. I think that like. PUBG was the first game that I played on console
super
without
unforgiving.
auto
But
aim.
it's
It was
just-
very unforgiving. But Apex is so
It's very fast paced. Like everyone, like if I play with like other people that aren't like my friends, I'll be like taken off, and then like some people will catch on and be like, okay, cool, we gotta go with her. I'm like, yeah, don't like stay there. Like people
Don't
are
you
going
dare
to
drag me down.
Because you can hear people. I'll be like, yo, there's someone in this building, and someone's like, no, they're not. I'm like, no, there's literally someone else in this building, and like you can hear them, and so I'm just like, we need to like leave or like we're
Right.
gonna go at it. And
Yeah.
so, like, that's usually how it is. But yeah, I was so happy. I was like, 3 wins in a row, 10 kills each match. What am I doing?
MVP.
But it was really fun. Like I've been enjoying the new one. The new character is really cool. His name is Crypto. He
What's
has,
his thing?
He has this drone that's kind of like a UAV.
The drone, yes, and it does sort of like a
It just
Wildlandsy kind of thing. You can like highlight
Yeah.
players and like spot
Like,
them out
it's
for
so
people and
Oh,
stuff.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like once it
Like a scout.
But you
Yeah.
can see it.
Like you can
it's
see, you
so
can hear
easy
it.
to see.
So you,
Oh.
if you're like exposed, then you can take it
'Cause
down.
half the time I'll
Okay.
see
You can
it and
counter
I'll just
it.
straight up just be like,
Yeah.
looking for me. But like you can see it like so far, like you'll see it just like this, because it's looking for people to find, and then once it finds you, it like kills all of your like I think specials, and then like you can't use them anymore.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
it
and
is.
then
Like,
so that's where you gotta like punch
blocks
or
the
find
alts?
it. Yeah, and then they'll come and just kill you.
jump in the chat real quick. Sis has been playing Hellblade, Sekiro, and Hollow Knight.
Hell yeah. Those are all good
Those
games.
are fantastic. Well, I don't know about Hollow Knight. The other two definitely
Hollow Knight
fantastic.
was
Yeah.
I've never
really
played it, but
great.
everything I've seen is great.
2 is
Looks like
great.
fun. Looks
They're
like
coming
fun.
out with a 2. You should play it. It's really good.
I actually watched your Hellblade stream, Sis, on Saturday. Like I watched a big chunk of it because I was sitting in the living room for an extended period of time. So I pulled you up. So it looked like you were really enjoying it. Alm has been trying to learn Tekken 7 once again. Now seeing the whole bloody thing as a math equation or maths equation. And I'm still trash. I watched Blonde Bomb play Tekken 7 as a DFW streamer, someone that I think we know through Trexis, I think, like IRL.
Okay.
And I like watching Tekken 7. That's a pretty fighting game.
Yeah,
It's
I like
good.
fighting games.
And
I mean, it's not like Street Fighter where it's just like constant combo, trying to keep them in the balance. I don't think.
I feel like there's a lot of like combo chains though that are things that you have to like figure out in Tekken 7 where
Yeah.
you're like there's not like
Right.
this combo. I mean you string together the moves sort of like making your own combo. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Make your own combo. Burger King.
I mean,
like that? I don't know.
yeah. I mean, I guess I'm just kind of taking it from my own
Just
experience
like
of playing
you
like
like
Soul
it.
Calibur and Tekken.
Wait.
Just the way you want it.
No, what's that? Just like
No,
you
it's-
like it.
That's
Any
what a
way you
burger-
want it, that's the way you need it. Driving through a Burger King.
Whoa, I don't think that's very.
Did we
Okay.
just go? I don't know the lyrics.
Pool's been playing WoW Classic almost exclusively. It almost started Dead Cells and played Jump Force just for the
Nice.
rewards points. Did you play Jump Force, Bree?
No, because it did really bad, so I'm not gonna waste my money on it.
It did really bad. Like the reviews were bad. You mean?
Yeah, like maybe if it goes on sale, like I wouldn't say it's a $60 game. It's more like a $30, $15 game.
Okay. Says, don't you come in here with your facts. You get right out of here. I've been playing this game I found yesterday through Meteor Matt called Kind Words, and it's the most wholesome thing I found all year.
Yeah, no, I saw that, and my first thought was,
Let's
I'm
play.
I'm curious what
this.
that's all about.
I love games like that are just kind of not your conventional.
wholesome.
Yeah, just not your typical game.
What have you been playing, Alex?
I mean, to be honest, not much. My internet's been shitty,
I have
and so
J-Star.
I've been
It's
barely
okay.
able to
It's
play
fine.
any Overwatch.
No
before
Overwatch?
It pisses me off. Yeah.
Because the internet's been janky?
Yeah.
Okay.
And like, and then my side game, Minecraft, can't really play that either.
Yeah. So what do you
lose
play
connection.
offline?
Finish
What do you play offline?
I mean,
then?
I do have some
Is
offline
this a game?
games,
Bounty Hunter.
some like indie games that I have.
Bounty Hunter, thanks for the follow. Thanks for joining us in the gutter. Feel free to
alright.
pipe in with your thoughts anytime you want.
Yeah, we're just talking about what games we've been playing.
Yeah, what you been playing?
But so like, I mean, yeah, I got a bunch of indie games. I could be playing those.
Yeah, it's like looking at your
That just
Steam.
keeps getting bigger, and you're like, I'll get you eventually. But you
But I don't want to.
I mean, to be honest, there's like a few indie games that I just go to just because I know I can.
looks cute.
They're like pick up and go kind of games.
Yeah.
It's like I can play for like 30
Just
minutes.
for a little bit and then drop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You write
Uh,
letters to
so
other people?
in Ani's telling us about kind words. You play a little character in a room. There's some really nice chill music on the radio you can customize. You send and receive anonymous letters with other players talking about your worries with the intention to send each other kind words.
Yeah.
I'm 100%
That's
wow.
beautiful.
It's
Wow.
lo-fi music.
Yeah.
It's really
For
chill.
real? Lo-fi? I love
It's
lo-fi.
lo-fi and lo-fi chill beats to write to kind words.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's $4.99.
From like I don't know.
Do we
I
play-
listen to a lot of lo-fi, so like Chill Hop is one of the
For
I guess
real.
producers.
Do we play Rainbow Six? I'm gonna guess you mean Siege. The answer is kinda. We have played it before. It is in our multiplayer rotation.
It is
We've had some
regular play.
connectivity issues in the past, and so we don't usually play with our friend Sam because if we have trouble partying up, then he starts going mother, and
And then, yeah.
and so we sort of put it on the back
We're
burner.
kind of avoiding that storm.
What about you? What have you been playing, JB?
I've been playing a little game called Hate Fucking Rocket Bikes.
GTA
Oh my
Online.
gosh, I will text
Yeah.
Steven every... No, but so I've been playing GTA Online.
Yeah.
I got back into that. And it's so fun for me to, be a teacher by day and criminal empire mogul at night.
Right.
Um,
You're like, just want to get home so I can sell some coke. That's
I'm-
really
I'm
what I
making
want to
all
do.
the
Yeah,
wrong
and you have a
decision.
nightclub now too,
I
right?
am. And the thing is, they're like, you shouldn't buy a nightclub until you own all the other businesses. I'm like, fuck that. I want a nightclub. And I had fun, and I finally built up...
decked it out.
Saved up enough money to sell my current auto garage and buy the better one that's closer by. And then I'm like, okay, cool. I'm going to start collecting cars so I can start selling them. And I'm like, oh man, I got a cargo bob and everything. I'm going to do this quick. And then some guy on a fucking jet bike's like, hey, psh, and he sits there and like, he hovers in front of me. So I'm like moving my cargo bob, and I've got this $100,000 sale car. I'm like, and he hovers in front of me. I'm just like, please don't.
Yeah. All you can do at that point is just go, please don't.
And I just like bailed out of the. He blows up all my shit and then hunts me down and shoots me on the way
What a
down. I was
douchebag.
I'm like,
It's technically what you're supposed to do.
part of the game is to
but
interrupt.
there is no counter for it is the issue, and that's not
Right.
really a player problem. It's really a game problem. Is that
They
people on the rocket bikes
built a device that's too hard to counter. And
yeah, there's nothing we can do.
And it turns the strategy of occasionally, like if me and Steven are cruising and doing a job and we see nearby a car driving by delivering stuff, we're like, we could take it out this time and do it one time and then move on. And like, that's just part of the game. Like,
Yeah.
but like, I'm in a rocket bike that can literally take you across the map in minutes.
Probably
with
less
the
than that.
fastest and highest power rockets, and you're so small that even though like you have no armor, you're just so hard to hit by anything that's not like super lock on. It's just too much offensive power, and then people just go around griefing it. And so it's basically like if there's one rocket bike on the map, don't do any jobs of any kind that involve
maybe
selling your
switch
product.
sessions and find one that
that's
doesn't
the
have
point.
someone
Like,
flying
that is
around.
It changes the meaning behind the game, which is like now you can get it and just really grief people.
It's too OP.
So yeah, I like, and I'm not mad at the players. Like I'm gonna
They're
buy one
doing what they're
eventually
supposed to
because
do,
like
yeah.
the rocket bike is great for doing
It's
other
super
missions.
cool.
How do you get it?
You pay $3 million.
It's
Like,
in
and that's thing, why
it's
$3
in
million?
the heist. Once you, because I don't know if you have to play the heist first, but when the heist came out, it unlocked. I think, and you have to have millions of dollars, and then I think you can just buy it.
So point is, I'm still playing it because like we got into it and I'm having fun. But then I'll be playing and I'll be like looking on the map and I'm like, there's a motherfucking rocket bike. All right, I guess I'm just gonna ass around for 30 minutes instead of actually try to make money to
I'll go to my club and dance.
And the funny part though is
Swear to the right.
my wife would come and she'd be like, hey, you seem upset. I'm like, yeah. She's like, why don't you play Spider-Man? I'm like, because she really
play fucking Spider-Man.
she really wants me to get you your PlayStation back. Because I totally understand it. Having someone else's property, especially expensive property, like she's like, it's like itching the back of her brain, like if that thing breaks, we're gonna owe Steven money. I'm like, I'm not gonna break it, but also I'll get back into Spider-Man. Like I'm the kind of person who I have super tunnel vision. So right now it's GTA until it stops.
If you boot up Spider-Man, you're just gonna be thinking about GTA the whole time. That's not fair
Be like, I
to
could be
either
driving
GTA
those
or
cars.
Spider-Man.
I could be those people
But
running
to be
around.
fair, Spider-Man is still super fun. I just gotta finish it.
Almost says not quite a game, but hopped into Duolingo to learn Japanese. Oh, good luck.
Oh, hey.
Good luck. That's awesome. You're multilingual already, right? Is multilingual already, I believe, because Alma has mentioned learning English at some point and having gamed prior to. So I believe Alma's multilingual already. So I bet it comes pretty quick to you, but good luck. So guys, what I've been playing? I have been playing a little bit on the Nintendo
playing,
Switch.
Steve-O?
On the Nintendo Switch.
Sweet.
We got a Switch.
Heck yeah. What'd you get? Or like what games?
Our friends Crazy Smurf and Becca Lou, they're streamers on Twitch. You can follow Crazy Smurf on Twitch. They got us a Switch with Mario Kart 8 for a wedding present, for an early wedding present.
Oh, cute.
So we went with them last Friday, and we got to no, we didn't pet. We fed an otter.
Oh.
We got to feed otters. We fed stingrays.
With their cute little hands.
I learned that when you're...
that carts in bed.
That's in that too. So I was feeding. By the way, I went to feed the stingrays at Sequest, and I set the little minnow bits on the ledge because I needed my two hands to feed the stingrays. And this big stingray was like, "Sweet food," and came out of the water and just went and like hosed, like waved the whole left half of me, minnow guts all over the right half of me. It just completely wiped me out.
Water to the left of me, guts to my right.
So anyway, so we got a Switch. So Nerdist and I have been playing Mario Kart. She woke me up at 5 a.m. on Saturday morning, was like, or Sunday morning, "You want to play Mario Kart?" And I was like, "Okay." So we played Mario Kart. And then I wanted a couple other things to test out, so I downloaded Realm Royale because it's free. I downloaded Paladins because it's free. And I wanted to see how it plays. Playing a shooter game on the Joy-Cons is either something I need to learn and figure out, or it's absolute fucking shit.
No,
it's one of
you're
those two.
Probably not gonna want to play it like that. Like you're probably just gonna want to use the actual controller.
Like
I will say
the Pro controller.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, I don't ever use the Joy-Cons alone. Like I always use it in the controller or I use it on the Switch. Like I don't ever use.
I had them. I was using them on the connected to the screen. Like I was playing it in portable
you can
mode.
get good like that.
Yeah, and so but I was like,
great at
oh my god.
Splatoon.
So the thumbs, the way my thumbs are, the buttons normally for a controller,
Or like side by
you can see
side.
it, you slide to the right. Like my thumb moves to the right
Who
to
are
hit
you
the face
showing?
buttons.
Are you
I'm
showing
trying
me?
to show anybody who will listen to me. But with the Switch, the buttons are due north of the stick, so I have to raise my hand up, and that is not natural for me. And so I was like, oh, this fucking.
See, I guess it's okay for me because like sometimes even in like Apex, you have to like press on the D-pad, but like who's gonna like switch real quick from the analog to the D-pad? You know?
Right.
Like in the middle of like a battle.
Right.
But you do.
Jedi Taz, hey, welcome.
And I think
Thank you,
that's
stick, buddy.
why you'll get used to it though. It's just like something to get used to. It's just like a
Oh my
few
God. I felt like I was sort of getting it because after I started with Realm and I was like, oh, this is fucking shit. And then I switched to Paladins and I was like, oh, like okay, like I'm sort of getting it a little bit. I think I just have to train my thumb to do a different thing.
Yeah.
But also it drives me nuts that Nintendo's buttons are A, B, X, Y and in different places than on Xbox.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, A is not the base button down at home.
They did it first.
I guess they did. Stop with the facts, Bree.
But you'll get used to it over time.
I think I'm getting used to it. It was pretty cool. I played Realm with Raven 1 earlier.
Yeah.
And all I did was I took the
you download Tetris
Xbox
99?
headset and I clicked into the top and we could get game. It was pretty seamless. It worked pretty well. Tetris 99, is it free?
Yeah.
I didn't get. Nope. I gotta find that. I really want to play Tetris 99. I want to play the
Yes.
shit out of that.
It is so much fun.
X on the PlayStation controllers is the reason I have trust issues. Is it X versus cross?
I believe it's the cross.
Cross?
So yeah, you have X at the bottom on the PlayStation controller.
yeah.
You have X to the left on the Xbox controller, and you have X to the top on the
Right.
Nintendo controller. That slidey piece of crap. Okay, guys. So let's talk about the topic for today: games with shitty endings, the worst endings. A game that you played, maybe you loved it, maybe you didn't, but you got to the end and you went, well, that ending fucking sucked. I'm going to start, because I have a few. I reached out to some people and got a few, and I have some from you guys as well.
Yep.
So first of all, let's go to, I have to change, because we're not going to do any technical issues today. No technical issue. It's no technical issue Monday.
No technical issue Monday. I believe that's a holiday.
Right. So this is the first one on my list. This is also spoiler alert for some of these games.
Yeah,
The
he's
first-
not wrong. He's not wrong.
The first Borderlands
Y'all just
game.
don't understand.
So The first Borderlands game. It's loot shooter, right? There's all these crazy bosses as you play through the game, twists and turns. The final level is real cool as you're going into the vault, and there's like the angels and shit, and it's like hard and like they're powerful. And so I'm like getting up to the vault, and I'm like, ooh, what's gonna be in the fucking vault, right?
Yeah.
And so I was like super stoked to get up here, and we can spend a minute.
I think she's about to get kebab.
Yeah.
I remember this, and I remember it. I figured it was like it's gonna be some fight. But like,
Hey, Gripping Yarn,
and
hello.
then she gets eaten by the giant vagina.
So yeah, giant vagina monster with tentacles. And it just sits there.
Yeah.
It doesn't move. It sort of throws some stuff at you, I guess. When you're playing with multiple people, and if you've been, we didn't 100% the game by any means, but if you've just been playing the game for a while, like you do some reasonable amount of side quests and stuff. I had this gun that was just this SMG. It was very short range, but you could shoot it for an hour and a half before it like ran out of ammo.
Right.
And so I just walked up to the pulsing teething gross
maw.
thing, and I just went, and about 20 seconds later the thing died.
Yeah.
And I turned and I looked at Sam and I was like, was that fucking it? Just this stationary blob? Like, the whole rest of the game is so, like, what would be cool is like shoot out the tentacles, right? Shoot out the tentacles and break them off, and then you can like wear this thing down over time, like some drawn out. But it literally, I feel like it took like a minute and a half, and I just completely was like, what a piece of shit. The boss, just the boss.
Yeah.
So, you never finish games, so I'm never disappointed, sister.
And I think that after you beat it, it's just like, oh, guns, and then it's like, cool, you made Borderlands.
Right.
So-
well,
And I gotta admit, like,
Alms
I was
is-
hoping for.
something a little bit more.
So here's my take on it. So like, I mean, I love Borderlands.
Sure.
And I mean, so following along with the story on what all had happened, you know, first Borderlands, they open up the vault gate. Second Borderlands, Jack goes in and tries to take control of the monsters of the monster inside.
The monster inside.
The dragon.
Yeah.
And
Two was good.
Yeah.
Two had great bosses,
but hear
great
me out.
ending.
So like it's just following the story. Like in the first, you were tricked to open this, to open the vault. Jack tricked you into doing it, and then in the second one, then Jack goes in and
Oh, it looks like he is actually.
So
It
it's
was
more
a
like a story
cliffhanger.
thing for
Shooting that
you.
thing.
it's a cliffhanger.
Yeah, it was
Oh.
definitely a story part. Like, I kind of felt like, okay, so what did I do? And in Borderlands 2, the beginning of Borderlands 2, when you realize all the characters you played in the first one are like now NPCs that kind of like
Yeah.
that was good.
Yeah,
Borderlands 2
sure.
took Borderlands 1 and was like, hey, we got this. We're gonna make it better, and
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
did. Borderlands 1, if it was a solo game, never sequeled. I was unsatisfied.
I
Yeah.
was unsatisfied.
No, yeah. I mean, I totally get it. Like
I can't really
this
judge
is
Borderlands too well. Like I was young when Borderlands came out, and I played the whole game with my dad.
Yeah.
So I think I was like in middle school when Borderlands came out.
Mm.
But I remember playing it because there weren't a lot of like 2-player games.
Yeah.
And whenever I would go to my dad's house, that's what we would play. We would play Borderlands. So I can't really remember too much. But I just remember enjoying it.
Yeah.
Like I don't remember like it
Yeah, but
being
the
bad,
whole
just, like-
experience was enjoyable
Yeah, it was just
and
enjoyable.
The game
There's
was
a-
fun.
Yeah,
a
it
million
was
deals.
super
Yeah,
fun.
and the game was fun.
Ending.
And then like as I got older, I was like, God, I don't need all that loot. Dude.
Yeah. Army of Two sequel wins. Speaking of 2-player games, so there's been 3 Army of Two games. You want a fourth one, Sis?
Low-key.
That's cool. Like we haven't had one this
My
generation.
dad was so strict on me about games, though. Sometimes, like, I didn't play a lot of like games like that. I didn't play Call of Duty
fuck
until I was
not.
like in high school. Like, I watched them.
I wasn't
so
allowed to
long.
play Mortal Kombat on Genesis when I was a kid, but I just went over to my friend Mark's house and played it.
Oh no, we were allowed to play that.
You were allowed to play Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, super weird though.
Really?
My
Not
sister
Call of
was
Duty.
like knocking us off on the freaking Super Nintendo and stuff.
Was it the online component? Was that if you went online, you would be exposed to absolute toxic fuckery?
Yeah.
That makes more sense
like,
now.
I liked Halo,
I would rather my
but
kid
I
play
wasn't
Mortal
allowed to.
Kombat in the living room than go online and have to deal with
Grand Theft Auto,
those
we liked
assholes.
Grand Theft Auto. We weren't allowed to play that. Like we were allowed to go on what we called rampages, and that's when we would put in the cheat codes and just like did what we
five
wanted.
stars. It was
Yeah.
like,
Right.
all right, my turn to get 5 stars. Let's see how long you can last.
Yeah.
Random YouTuber was playing in that video game, guy. for Army of Two. Army of 2-4. Army of 42.
Those games
as
are
it's
actually
been.
really good though. Oh.
Random YouTuber, not sure. So, Bree,
Yes.
this is the game that you said
Oh.
had a shitty ending.
I had
and
a
so
really hard time.
we're not going to be able to watch the whole thing. So there's like a 30-minute fucking cutscene.
You're telling me, dude.
So
I sat there for no reason.
what game is this?
So this is Kingdom Hearts 3, y'all.
All right, good. Because I never
Does-
finished it.
I never started it.
Spoiler alert for Kingdom Hearts 3.
I know.
I just heard
like,
all that shit
I
about
know
it.
I'm gonna get some trash talk, and I'm sorry, but your girl dropped the nostalgia, and that game was bad. That game was really bad.
The whole game is bad, including the ending.
Yes.
Okay.
I couldn't finish it.
It disappointed me in every way.
It's over
Like,
now.
the ending was the whole, like, that honestly was the best part of the game. But
And
it was
still
just-
sucked.
But it still sucked. Like, it was just like, cool, I'm finally fighting this actual really hard person. And then you get there, you do all this stuff. Kyrie keeps getting taken away for some goddamn reason. And like,
She's a princess.
It's just
I
like,
thought
dude.
so.
I thought she was gonna drop it too. I thought she was gonna drop a full GD.
We
It
just
was-
have confetti ready.
No, I need to have that for the first time. She Bree swore and the whole thing comes down.
But it was
Like
just
a band comes out of the closet.
like once you get to this point, he's there, like talking about the darkness.
Always got
My
the
life.
goatee.
'Cause
Yeah.
that's Xehanort, if everyone doesn't
Yeah.
know. So then he, like, because you beat him that time. Because you know Kingdom Hearts is like Final Fantasy. Because it's made by the same people. So it's like you fight one boss, you fight like 3 more after that.
Uh-huh.
And so like you fight him once, I think you fight him again. And
Is it multiple forms of the same boss?
yeah.
Okay.
Like he has different forms or whatever and like different people. And then you get to this part and he's like talking about the world and like all this other stuff and you're like, oh, okay. Like I knew that already. We've been told us about it in the past 10 games.
Yeah.
Just die.
I know about the darkness and the
You're
light.
beating a
Just-
dead horse
And then
real
like
hard
one
here.
of his best friend, I forget his name, he was like hiding in Maximus or whatever his name is the whole time. And he just comes out. He's like, all right, it's time for us to go. I'm like, what?
It wasn't your decision to
We did
make.
all this for you to just like take him? Like, that's
Uh-huh.
it? And then after all this, you get to the end and everybody goes back to Destiny Island. And you're like, cool, you did it. They're all back. They're back home. And then so you see Sora and Kyrie, they're right here on this freaking tree, and they're
Where
like
they
about-
started in one.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they're holding hands, and they lean over, and I swear, poop, they didn't give me a kiss, and he disappeared, and then she's just there crying. So I was like,
Damn.
You sacks of crap.
and
So
then out of nowhere,
she's not there.
Sora's not there.
Sora's not there.
Disappeared.
Yeah, he just
You are not
disappeared.
that person.
And then something else happens, and then you look away, and Riku's not there, and you're like,
Where are they taking the characters?
yeah.
Let's be real. This guy's name is Xehanort, which is stupid sounding.
Pool says
Xehanort.
every Kingdom Hearts game had a shitty ending. True or not?
No.
Kingdom Hearts 1.
Kingdom Hearts 1, I do not like how everyone says it's not a good game. It is honestly the best Kingdom Hearts.
It is.
Kingdom
Kingdom
Hearts
Hearts
1.
Yeah.
is the best Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts 2 is easy, but it's fun. But
Kingdom Hearts
3,
1 was brilliant. Kingdom Hearts 2 was like
and
right
you can
there.
count all the other ones. Like, the other ones are fine.
All
Like,
the DS ones.
yeah, all
Right.
the other ones. But, like, they rushed Kingdom Hearts 3.
Hey Stone, thank you for
and
the
they
follow.
just ruined that whole game for me. They
guys-
ruined the whole thing for me.
You guys feel
Yeah.
free to pitch in and chat. What's your what's the worst game ending or final
And
boss
then,
you've ever
for some
seen?
reason, everybody comes here to save them, and they all have Keyblades. And I thought it was a sacred thing that only Sora could have. But no, everybody gets Keyblades.
Maybe not that. Oh, there's Mickey's on the screen. Pause.
Wait, guys, we gotta take this
And
off.
then
We're gonna
you know
get.
what? They bring in the freaking mobile game, and they bring in people from the mobile game. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the point? What's the point?
It's like they kind of made it too big for. I don't know.
Too big for his britches.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
and then if you're playing on PS4, you're actually probably on either console, whatever you're playing on, your controller's gonna shut off before the credits roll. Like it's gonna go to sleep before the credits
This
roll.
game basically Duke Nukem itself. Like it was like in such a long time of development that like we knew it was coming that
I knew it was
nothing
gonna be
it
bad.
could have made was
I
gonna be
don't
good.
think that it couldn't live up to the hype. I think it was just bad.
Like this
It's just
guy,
bad.
like his best friend is in that kid. The one
blonde
from Final
one?
Fantasy. No, that one.
Okay.
So let's get Jedi Taz says, I feel like I was disappointed with one of the Fables. Can't remember which one though.
Ooh.
The endings with
you
Fables
mean,
are kind
3?
of
Was it 3?
We're kinda
It was
iffy.
basically like
Yeah.
I didn't much
As I
care
told
for the
you.
Fables.
Yeah, me neither. Fable was always kind of.
I played through, I think, Fable
sorry.
2 all the way.
Yeah.
And, like, I maxed out my character and started buying stuff. And I got bored, and so I started changing.
I think it's 3.
Sides.
I got
because
bored. I got bored
3
with the game, is what happened. Like,
Yeah.
I
look,
beat it. you know,
Now
but-
his best friend's about to pop out of there, and he's like, "I've been here the whole time."
and that looks like a Final Fantasy character, but it's not.
But it's not.
Yeah.
Like
Huh.
he is, but he's not.
But let's count how many Final Fantasy characters there were in Kingdom Hearts 3. Okay, so there's
None.
There's none.
but
There was
Goose
one
egg.
little goose egg that I saw in the toy store. Where
Easter
they had,
egg.
Easter egg, yeah.
I
What did say?
like Goose Egg though.
Zero.
there's oh, it is Goose Egg because there's zero.
Goose egg
Means zero. Yeah, big
Oh,
Goose Egg. But you meant that you
I
saw
meant there was,
Final Fantasy.
there was an
yeah.
Easter egg. There was just it was just Bahamut. That was
Kingdom
it.
Hearts was really
Okay.
weird, and like with that teaser that they had, it was like so the guy who was working on Kingdom Hearts 3 was actually working on Final Fantasy 15.
Okay.
But they pulled him off to finish 3.
Uh,
And a lot of people think he was just mad about it. So that's why he did a lot of things.
just like
that
fucking
look like-
finish it.
That's why Riku looks like freaking Noctis. And like, it was a very disappointing game.
So A Stone says COD, all of them, Call of Duty. I would say Call of Duty 2 had a great ending because that.
Oh, that was, you freaking knifed the guy in the eyeballs.
No, it was when Shepard, your commander turns on you. He's like, "You got the shit out. Good job, soldier." Boom, boom, and you're like, "No!" Like that was
wasn't
like
the
that's.
end of Call of Duty 2, Modern Warfare.
That's
2.
Modern Warfare.
No, so Call of Duty.
That was at Modern Warfare.
Modern Warfare.
The first Modern Warfare. No,
No.
that was the second Modern
I
Warfare.
got this. Modern Warfare 2, about 2/3 of the way in, Shepard, who is a private military working for the
That's what we're talking
Americans,
about. Yeah.
gut
Gum, gum.
punches Ghost and kills the characters off. And then
Oh, that wasn't the ending of the game.
and then Soap and
That
I
was
forget
at
Price.
hunts him down, and at the end of the first game, like you've got this moment where like you've got your Soap and you've got the knife in your chest, and you're like, and you gotta
Because
pull
they
it out.
killed him.
And then what's the name of the bad guy? I forget his name.
I don't know.
I don't
He's
know.
never
But he's like-
Commander Shepard. Is it
He's
Shepard,
like
right?
he's like just beating the crap out of Price, and you're like,
Because they both
and then
died.
you do this really cool, and you just hit him in the face, and I'm like, I'm sorry. We're talking about worst endings or best endings?
Oh, that
ever?
wasn't in the end.
that
That was it. That's right.
ending was brilliant.
Modern Warfare
Modern
2.
Warfares are good.
The Modern Warfare 2 ends with a nuke, right?
Modern Warfare 1 has a nuke in the middle of it.
But which game ends with a nuclear explosion? Am I thinking of the middle of all of these games?
You didn't finish any of them.
Because you know the new Call of Duty that comes out.
He was like, and don't forget Modern Warfare 2, where the ending of the game
Someone's
is
mic
you
is popping.
attack an airport
Okay,
and
we'll
kill a lot of civilians. Like, no.
Might be.
Uh-oh.
Might be
My mic gone?
Alex, maybe. We're doing the best we can.
Yeah,
No
because
technical
Gonna
difficulties.
hide this. Yeah, no
'Cause the
technical
new-
difficulties today.
No,
the
none.
new Call of Duty that they're bringing
Okay.
out brings back Soap and Price. I don't really know why, but I know
It's just
I'm
a
excited.
reboot. It's
I love Modern Warfare.
Let's retry it. Let's redo it. Let's go back to the classic because we're running out of ideas. We've done Future. We've done
Honestly,
Black Ops. We've
I
done
played
everything.
the beta for the new one, and it's fun. It is so much fun.
So Sis mentioned Final Fantasy 12. He liked the game, hated the ending. Sis, tell me why. And then Pool Pri says, and I agree. Batman Arkham Asylum, the first Batman Arkham game,
Oh, yeah,
had a
fucking Bane
horrible
Joker.
fucking ending because it was just Bane Joker. It was literally the same bosses you've been
Yeah,
fighting the entire
entire
game.
time.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
nothing new about it.
With a bit, and you're right, that was an absolute bullshit.
And they did better with the other ones. They did
yeah,
better.
yeah.
Well,
That was
and
good.
if
The ending of Arkham City was super good.
Yeah.
That's yeah.
That's a, spoiler alert for the second Arkham game.
You killed
That's the one where Joker dies.
Yeah.
And like
he dies good.
He dies good too because he, like Batman
Yeah.
like picks up the serum and then
will
Joker
save
stabs
you.
him and it breaks. And he's like, you know, it's funny. After all this, I was gonna save you. And he goes, that is pretty funny, and like laughs himself to
Yeah.
death. That's a good fucking ending.
Yeah, that's how Joker should go out.
You liked the beta for which one? Advanced Warfare? And Shadow in Kids' Faces, like the old days. The ending, I accidentally beat it without realizing I was about to beat the game. The entire freaking ending fight, I was going, man, I must be getting close to the final boss after this level.
Dang.
And that actually is a good point. Similarly, Modern Warfare, okay. This was the Donkey Pirate. Donkey Pirate, my pal Jason, this was his. So, this is the
Halo 2.
Right.
I understand it. I don't know that I necessarily agree. I think people didn't like that the last mission was an Arbiter mission and not a Master Chief mission, and then and that it ended up finishing this
So,
fight.
yeah,
and it's
we'll-
kind of like
we'll watch this through because I think it's only a couple of minutes here, but I will give the game a few things to keep in mind about Halo 2. Halo 2 had been pushed back like a whole bunch. This was one of those highly anticipated games, right? So Halo 2 finally comes out. There
Get
is
the teabag in.
you switch between Chief and the Arbiter.
do
And
Arbiters even have testicles?
the Arbiter, I don't think so. It's not a teabag. It's more of a, I guess, clam
Goat
steak.
snack.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So
yeah.
the
Taint sack.
it does end on a boss battle, an actual boss battle. So there's that. The game is about as long, maybe an hour or so shorter than the first game.
Yeah,
it's
a little shorter
comparable.
unless you
to the
played
first
hard,
game.
unless you played expert mode, and then it was
Oh
500
yeah, it's a
hours
million
longer.
years long. So at this point in the game, you've got an Arbiter level. You finished this boss Brutus, and things are
Yeah, thank you, Legendary.
becoming what did you say? Expert?
Yeah.
Legendary. Yeah,
What?
we know what you meant.
John Chu's word not good.
Right. And so, if you were us, though, we played through this game probably either on normal or heroic and co-op as well. And so we blasted through this game. So even if the game was literally the same amount of time as the first Halo game, the first Halo we played like over progressively, and Halo 2 we jetted through in like 3 days because like we were just like, yes, fucking Halo 2.
From here?
Is this the remastered?
This is the remaster.
Okay, because I was gonna say it looks fucking great.
Yeah, yes, this is gorgeous. Yeah. Well, we played three hours a day.
Yeah.
3 days.
We don't need to turn this into a math equation.
Right. Yeah.
Point is, we beat this game
it
fast.
in a span of time that was really quick.
And then here's the ending.
Yeah. So this is the ending. So right here, well, okay, Master Chief's coming back. Let's see what's up. And we'll take a listen here.
117.
Anyone hear me?
Isolate that signal. Master
It's
Chief,
this one.
you mind telling me what you're doing on that ship?
Sir, finishing this fight.
Finishing this fight.
And here's the thing.
And that's it.
It simultaneously isn't that bad because it does a good job of making me go, okay, fucking Halo 3, let's do this. But also, like, it should not be a half game. Like, like Halo 3 starts off with him hitting Earth and landing on Earth and being like, okay, let's go and pick it. Like,
Yeah.
they should have made him land on Earth, do something crazy there, and then that starts Halo 3 after.
I actually
So-
liked the way it ended, though.
In retrospect,
I'm tossing, I'm juggling.
In retrospect, I do love Halo 2 got a lot of shit when it first came out, and now is considered one of the best ones in retrospect.
It's good.
And now looking back, I'm like, that was really cool. I do like the cliffhanger ending now.
Yeah.
At the time, you were like, okay, here we go. The final battle. Oh, credits? So part of that was that Halo 2 and Halo 3 were one game. And they had to sort of cut it in half and then flesh them out.
I think it's good.
And it does end up working. I still think that Halo 2 could have used one more mission. One
Yes.
more
That's what I'm
mission.
thinking.
I was gonna say, because like in Halo 1, you have this epic fucking ending where you're riding the Warthog out, and it's so
Everything's
badass!
exploding. And
Yeah.
like, if your tuchus ain't clenched the whole fight, you
Yeah.
are invested. Fuck out. And you're like,
Woo! Man.
and then like
Oh.
when you hit a turn and you tumble and you're like, oh, flip the
Come on,
chief.
come on, come on.
And if you're playing co-op, you are screaming at everyone, get in the goddamn Warthog!
Why are you out of drive? Turn the camera, the car will follow.
But like the ending for 1 is so much more epic than
It's
2.
amazing watching
No,
you
I'm
guys
sorry.
from
The
being
ending for
grown
one
men to straight up children.
Yeah,
like,
we went.
so
we went.
fast.
I turned 17 in an
The
instant.
ending for Halo 1 was the best of the original trilogy.
Yeah.
Better than Halo 3. And Halo 3's final level, they did a throwback to the drive-off scene,
Sure.
except you're driving on the most blanket, boring, and I get it, it's supposed to be the scaffolding of the new Halo
Yes,
being made,
yeah.
but it's boring.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Driving on the inside of a ship
That's exploding around
from
you.
every direction
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
by and far the best
Yeah.
Halo ending of the original trilogy.
Of the original trilogy, yeah. And A-Stone does say that Halo Reach was the best Halo.
Oh, Halo Reach was so good.
See, I don't.
My
I
favorite.
don't
Hands
agree,
down my
but I
favorite.
totally see why you say that.
It's
I
so
absolutely
funny
see why you
because
say
everyone, because that game came out when I was in high school, and everyone
Reach?
hated that game.
No,
Everyone hated
was
Reach?
so good.
Yeah, like I heard the worst things about that game.
Well, they're wrong. They're all wrong.
Interesting.
Everyone's wrong.
Yeah,
Nobody likes a cliffhanger when they experience it, sisters. Do you think that's true?
Depends.
I tend to like them.
Borderlands 1 was a cliffhanger.
Okay, what are some cliffhangers? I'm
Yes.
thinking of like movies that I've seen cliffhangers that have.
Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings,
Yeah, okay.
Star Wars. Sorry.
Yeah, Empire Strikes Back is a bit of a cliffhanger.
Ish. A bit of a cliffhanger-ish. Harry Potter Deathly Hallows 1 cliffhanger.
Hunger Games.
Oh,
Twilight.
ODST is so good though.
I'm
No.
just thinking of
ODST is
movies.
super good.
I never played ODST. That's the one I need to play.
Yeah, ODST. Oh, it's so good. There's a million reasons why it's good.
What are movies?
Cliffhangers when you know they're coming. Example of cliffhanger that kind of had me going, getting all poo-pooed was Infinity War. I honestly did not know. I knew there was going to be an Avengers 4.
But you didn't know that it was a planned
And
sequel.
I remember being like, man, how long's this movie? She's like, 2.5 hours long. I'm like, we're 2 hours in. How are they going to wrap this
How they?
up?
Yeah,
They're going to...
They're in a pretty tight
Thanos
spot.
just snapped! What? That's it. And then Alicia's like, honey, I think this is the end of the movie. I'm like, oh, I gotta wait another year.
What if I die before then?
I had that. I was like, if I die before then, I'm gonna be really mad at the universe. Like they're.
Yeah, that's funny. That's funny.
So, okay. Anyway,
so-
we're needing to talk about bad games.
Let's
Bad
go
game
to
endings.
Alex. I don't have a video because I didn't hear from you.
Well,
But what do you got?
I mean, to be honest, I couldn't really think of any bad
It
endings.
was really hard to do.
Okay, that's fine.
I mean,
We'll move
yeah.
on.
I mean, Kingdom Hearts was like the only thing that I could think of
I got a
that came to
couple. I got a
mind.
couple.
If you didn't even finish Kingdom Hearts, that just proves how trash that game
I didn't even finish it. No, yeah.
Because you know what? When you go to Frozen, you're not even in that game. It's straight up watching
You're
the
just
movie.
watching clips
Yeah.
from the movie.
God, I hated that level.
So mad.
Like I'm going up and down the mountain, and it's just fucking annoying.
Did you? If you thought of one, I don't want to gloss over anything you had.
I mean, the only thing I could probably think of would probably be, it's got to be maybe one of the Final Fantasies, or I'm thinking like Fallout.
Yes.
With kind of the endings from there.
Yeah. So Chan's mentioned Fallout. Most of the Fallouts actually having pretty bad endings.
Yeah.
Like they're great games, and then I guess you're done.
Low-key, never
Yeah.
finished one.
You're done.
Like
Got
3
so-
choices.
You don't need to. You played the best part of the game.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
You had fun, and that's all you needed to do.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I got so bored at some
all
point,
good.
and I was like,
Yeah.
Just
you're all
enjoy
set.
it. It's like the end. Yeah.
So here's one of JB's. Here's one of JB's.
Here, yeah.
This
So, and this one is not as.
it's a specific moment, really.
It caught me off guard, and I played this in high school, and it just caught me off guard, and it kind of made me like, ooh. So
I
just
never
here,
played this.
the game
this
is
is-
brilliantly fun.
what
It's
is the
super
game?
good. Super Mario Sunshine. It's
Okay.
just Super Mario 64 better. It was good, and they had it was.
I do
nothing
want to
complain.
hear this though, because
Yeah,
this
yeah,
is
yeah.
good.
Here, I'm gonna pause.
Watch.
So I just remember beating the game, and then this is kind of.
Mario, was I
Yeah, that was stupid.
I mean,
You were laughing at your joke a little too much.
It's just that was so dumb.
It was. There was no emotional connection whatsoever.
did it ever talk?
Did it
at
ever
all?
talk prior to
Yeah,
that?
a couple times.
Oh,
but-
okay.
But you had no emotional attachment. But hold on.
Yeah, that's not even a word.
And so this is a game where they had several characters fully voice acted, and I knew they weren't doing Mario aside from his grunts and there's a few things.
Wahoo's and
If it was popping, sorry about the popping.
But then this.
Oh, here we go.
Junior, I've got something far difficult to tell you about Princess Peach.
I know she's not really my mama.
And I remember
Someday,
voice acting Bowser
I'm
bad. No, I kind of just put the controller down. I was like, okay.
I'll fucking kill you. I wanna fight that Mario again.
That's my boy. Well put, son.
You know, okay, thank God in Mario Odyssey they didn't talk.
And
Yeah.
here's the thing.
Oh, boy.
Because games, as they progress, I'm totally on board with trying voice acting out.
Sure.
Breath of the Wild does pretty good.
Yeah.
I think. and the only way you can see if it's any good is to try it.
Yep.
But that was just, I just remember playing the game, like beating it, and it's very satisfying, good platforming. High school Jonathan had a lot of fun, and then that happened. I just remember being like,
that Bowser read was practically Bob Hoskins from the Mario movie. Was like, say, son, were you thinking that you wanted some spaghetti? You're like, it was just a...
I just wants to fight the Mario.
You ever think maybe Moira might be in your future?
I was thinking the cigarettes is not good for us.
Bowser with a big old cigar.
So I remember...
But that kid looks at him like, I'm ready to kill.
Very good, son. We are terrible people. So here's the thing. That's not really a bad ending. I do want to talk about another one. I'm going to keep my rant short on that. Super Mario Sunshine, great game. Slightly off-putting ending, just because the voice acting just didn't sell.
Yeah.
And
also the thing was and Mario's like, well.
nope, guess not.
Done. They put a stick right
So,
there.
but
you guys playing a Scum, which is a DayZ type game, and you found the only player in the Fallout 4 size map.
But
Oh, you
course
did.
would.
Congrats.
So here's the
We're
game
killing.
I'm going to talk about. I'm going to
Yeah.
keep it brief because I know you got other ones you want to hit.
There's a couple.
I'll keep my rant brief. Jet Force Gemini was the game that came to mind. And the reason why... So the game is super good for its time.
So that is a game for Saturday Morning Retro that I think that we should play co-op.
Oh, yeah. No, you and I need to get...
Yeah.
First of all, I want Vindication on that game.
Okay.
So, really good game. You've got 3 characters who are all unique and interesting. And so, like, the general notion is you go to any planet and you can enter a general portion of the planet as any one person, but then there are certain pathways that branch off. So, like, you have to visit each planet with each character and you get a different experience every time. Couple things to note, though. Like, in the general hub of each planet are random weapon upgrades, and you really need to be careful with who you give upgrades to, because it turns out the final boss is only fightable as Juno, and I had low homing rockets. I just happened to pick up homing rockets with all the other characters, and like, oh, okay, well, I'll go visit those places. And
I hate that, because some RPGs do that. You're like, I really enjoy these 3 characters out of the 10 on my team, so I'm going to upgrade these 3 characters. Because I'm going to use them most. And then the game's like, oh, your party's split up, so here's a section where you have to play with those 4 fuckers you don't ever play with.
Was that freaking Final Fantasy
7.
Lightning?
Oh.
13, I think, did it.
Lightning
7
does
did it,
that
too.
too.
I think a few of them have done
But
that.
7 was
And I'm like,
okay, but
well, I
like,
haven't even upgraded these motherfuckers.
Lightning's was
Well, the
so
thing is, there's
intense.
only 3 characters, and you have to
Yeah.
level them all up, but it's just, there's a potential for each character to have different weapon layouts and ammo and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And here's some great about the game. One, character models are adorable. You fight these like giant ants and you save these tiny little koala bears. Everything's shootable too, so if you like want to go through a map where you're like, I'm gonna shoot all the koala bears, fuck it, and you could. A really good 2-player co-op, because like once you rescue Lloyd, the flying robot, a second player can take over as him, and he's just this little aiming like reticle on the screen that you fire.
Is co-op always player 2 is the robot?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it just made it fun because he just added firepower without changing much of the story. And like the game was really fun, challenging. Like you had to collect all the teddy bear creatures to advance to the final boss. And I did all that, and it was super fun. And like everything about that game is really well made. Get to the final boss, and the final boss is like you have to strafe left and right on a platform, and you shoot the Mizar, the final boss, and he's flying at you, then turns around and flies back, and you have to try to hit him on the back briefly with rockets.
Do you say strafe and not strafe?
I don't.
Well, I'm wondering, have I been saying it wrong?
I
Do
don't.
you guys say strafe or strafe?
Strafe.
Continue.
And here's the thing, otherwise, like, that is a final boss. The final boss style of fight is different from everything else. Like,
And you have to do it in a specific way that you almost had to have known that you needed the upgrades for beforehand.
And maybe it's just because I was a kid, but it was, like, super hard. And, like, all the other bosses in other levels are fightable in a 3D runaround, continue the exact same style. And then the last final boss switches to I'm just going to strafe left and right, straight strafe, whatever, fucking A. And I'm going to shoot the boss in specific parts, and, and so it's a separate, an entirely separate style to deal with the final boss. That's not normal gameplay.
So it's just like disappointing, just the final fight.
And I never beat it as a kid.
Yeah.
I invested lots of time, and I was never able to beat it. And I would put it down and be like, okay, I can't do it right now. Maybe I just need to get better. And then like I'd play it again 3 weeks later. And I played it straight. Like I was at the final. I had 99% completion, and could not beat the final boss for like 3 years straight. And I literally never saw the ending. This was before YouTube and all that stuff. And I finally, like, a year or two ago was like, oh yeah, Jeff Gemini, what's the ending to that? And I watched the ending and I was like, man, you know what would have been great? I would have felt so satisfied if I'd gotten that.
If you'd gotten into it, yeah.
Having to watch it years later, I'm kind of disappointed. And I watched a video and somebody was able to beat it without the homing missiles. You just had to time it so.
Oh, it's just
because
really...
you have a tri-rocket launcher too. It's just like the thing is he comes at you, turns around, and there's this little beam that holds his wings up, and you try to shoot the backpack, kind of like Doc Octopus style.
To knock off a wing.
And so like if you fired when he came at you, you hit him in the front. If you waited for him to turn around, you fired, and your rockets were slower than him moving away. So you had to like fire right on top, unless you had the homing rockets.
Right.
And I was just never going to be good enough as a kid.
Right.
And so I was super disappointed. Like, the boss was so different from gameplay, and unless you had prior knowledge and prep, it was a disappointing ending because it was too hard. And like, I believe it featured in some magazines at the time, like Nintendo magazines, as hardest ending of a hardest boss
Interesting.
fight.
It was known for being difficult at the time.
And it wasn't hard like Akuma is hard in Street Fighter 2, where you have to get fucking good. This was just hard because it was such a branch away from normal gameplay.
Right.
That like,
so
we don't want any prep.
Speaking of final bosses, like this is one of mine as well. Oh, I put the wrong thing down, guys. Sorry. I was supposed to lower Star Fox Adventures and I lowered us. That was no technical difficulties today. None
whatsoever. So wasn't this supposed to be like its own independent game? And they're like, hey, this kind of looks like a fox. We could make it Star Fox and add some character.
I believe the Star Fox flavor was added later.
So that it would have more selling
You're
power.
here. This is the final boss. You've been tracking down General Scales this whole time, collecting all the stuff. Here he is.
Well, that's
But
kind
the
of cool to
war
me.
is not over yet. Now you must face me.
General Scales does not attack you.
What the hell?
Nope. He just sits there. In a minute, he will pull out his weapon.
Okay.
In a minute, Fox will pull out his weapon to attack.
Was this?
And that's it.
What the fuck?
There you go. Done.
That's the boss. That's the fight.
That's the boss.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Were you supposed to actually like start swinging your weapon and fighting him and like?
I thought it glitched when I first played this game. I thought it was a fucking glitch.
Like, aren't you supposed to like?
But you could not.
I don't understand.
No, I didn't think you would. Your desire for power overwhelmed you and blinded you to the truth inside.
And then randomly here at the end, Andros goes, I was behind it the whole time. You get into your Star Fox jet, you go up and you do a repeat of the old Star Fox Andros battle from the old game. And like Falco comes in and Falco's like, yeah, I've been helping you the whole time. You just never saw me. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Nintendo, you pieces of shit. I was like, I get to this boss battle. It's not a boss battle. It throws me into you don't do any Star Fox like traditional Star Fox shit until the end. It's like they got to the end. They're like, we have to do some sort of traditional Star Fox shit somewhere. So rather than a final boss, we'll just rehash the old shit and go into it.
Like I get the beginning was they did like R-Wing stuff at the beginning.
That's a good guess.
Like at the very beginning, they did R-Wing stuff to kind of like get you into it. And
I think
they switched over to like actually this is like a platformer adventure Zelda game.
Right. So this actually takes a little bit. So I don't know that we'll be able to see it where he like puts the final spirit in and then goes up into the R-Wing and all
that. Replay
but it just comes out of nowhere. And because I remember getting like. I remember my heart like getting ready because like, okay, let's General Scales, let's throw down. I actually really liked this game. Like I liked Star Fox Adventures just fine. Go in here and just it glitched. Now, did I do it? and just it felt like a slap in the fucking face. I was not a fan of that. So, I think the game for me would be Haunting Ground. It's one of the more cryptic PS2 survival horrors yet for me. The final boss is one of the easiest fights. After that, you have a sequence to run out of the crumbling mansion with a quick time event that you game over when you fail. Wow.
Oh, man.
That's brutal. So do you just reload and have to go back to the boss fight? Or, like,
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
that sucks.
If you want an interesting bad ending to a game, look up Incredible Hulk for Super Nintendo. At the very end, you enter a level, and there's the I forget what his name is, the villain with the big brain.
MODOK?
No, the controller or the whatever.
Krang?
But you go into him, and he's just standing there, and then Hulk, you just punch him, and he goes, ah! And falls off the cliff. And there's like, Hulk, you did it! I'm gonna pull it up on my phone because I'm gonna show you guys independently, but it's like...
Oh, you ruined all the tension, yeah. So you beat the game but never got the ending cutscene. That really sucks. So in our Discord channel, I asked some people what they thought of were some bad endings, and Sizz said Skyrim, and actually mentioned it earlier in chat, and I agree. Skyrim was a game that I really loved until the ending, and the ending was just a repeat of the same dragon battle you've been doing the whole fucking game. Like the final dragon is not any different from the standard dragon shit that you've been doing for the last 150 plus hours.
Yeah,
so
that's
it's
a
like,
little disappointing.
Oh, that's just
All right,
garbage.
Here's the ending to Super Nintendo Hulk. I'm sorry, it's not on the computer. So, final boss, and you ready? Ready?
Yes.
You enter the room.
Okay. Oh, uppercut and off. That was a second and a half when you enter that room.
You win.
And you win.
You uppercut the final boss because honestly, he shouldn't be hard to beat if you.
Yeah. Chan's mentioned Rage 1, and so I went back and I watched the ending of Rage, which was a 360 shooter, I think PS3 as well.
Oh, okay.
Might have been on PC. Yes, Rage 2 recently came out.
Yeah.
It was, I think, an id game. Sort of a Doom-style shooter. And it's a fine game. It's a pretty...
I feel like I've seen Rage.
It's sort of desert-based. John Goodman was one of the voice actors of an NPC
looks like
in the
Mad
game.
Max.
Yeah, it looks Mad Maxy. Characters sort of swing around and you throw like sort of stars, like ninja stars at them kind of thing. And it's a pretty inoffensive shooter. It's fine. I played it. It was fun. But the ending is you get into this little room and you're activating things that are timed. You just have to hit a button after a few moments and just
like this.
the regular
okay.
enemies
I
are
think
coming
I've
at you.
seen that, yeah.
It's like the normal run-of-the-mill enemies. And there's, I don't know, a dozen of them. And then you press the buttons. And then it gives you a really quick cutscene of like, the antenna opens and some things come out of the ground. And credits. And you're like, yeah,
And this one just came out.
that's it?
Gotcha. Okay.
But I don't think it did that well.
Now, Oj mentioned Dragon Soul, which is the final raid in WoW in the Cataclysm expansion. And he said it was just, there's this massive dragon, and you're like the dragon that like caused the Cataclysm. But when you go to fight it, it's like offshore, like in the background, and you're just fighting like tentacles and things it throws at you.
Oh.
And I was like, that's...
You're not talking about Bioshock 2. You're talking about Bioshock Infinite. And
Infinite.
I agree. It was terrible. I love Bioshock.
I loved the ending of Bioshock Infinite.
Infinite was terrible.
What?
Why give me choices if they do not matter?
A house divided.
That's the whole thing.
Yeah, but
No.
that is the thing, is that
No.
the whole point of the game is like all of the infinite universes,
like
and it's always going to be
determinism.
the
Bioshock has
same.
never been like that. It's been you make these choices, you get a different ending.
But that's what makes it a twist.
And
That's the twist.
it was just really dumb. Like why give me choices?
The
and
whole
then it's always
game.
gonna be a Booker. And
There are
From the
games.
beginning tells you don't have a choice.
Yes.
There are games where I do agree with you
But that
on
makes
this
no
topic, but yeah, I'm on the other side of
they
here.
bring the burial at sea, and like why?
It's a whole. For me, it's a whole philosophical thing. Like
No, I
free
understand
will.
it completely.
uh,
Well, it's in the
determinism.
first Bioshock because he'd say,
He's like, "I getcha. That's
if you
done."
don't mind, or like he had some.
Could you please?
Would you kindly?
Would you
And so,
kindly?
would you kindly? And what it was they said, "Would you kindly?" And then I'll ask you to do something, and you could technically say no and be like, "No, I think I'm not gonna." Boom, turn off the game.
But yeah,
or
yeah.
I'm gonna play the
But
game.
you
'cause
don't
I'm
you don't
very-
really have a choice in Bioshock 1 either because you're being commanded to do it.
They storyfy it by saying that your character was willed to do this by that catchphrase that you didn't know about. But really, in reality, it was just the arbitrary reason that the player
That had to
chose
do
to
things.
follow the.
Yeah, the first Bioshock made me
And so-
question
There
like
was two
gaming in
endings in
general. Is
Bioshock.
awesome.
And so,
Yeah, depending on
but-
if you
Save
saved
the sisters or
the
not.
sisters or not.
But
Yeah.
the point I think is that it's demonstrating that you never really had control, and I think that that somewhat reoccurring theme is going on with
Yeah, so you're
Bioshock
there,
Infinite.
but you hate it.
Yeah, I didn't think Infinite was good at all.
Wow.
Okay.
Interesting.
Well,
It was just one of my least favorites. And then it came out with a DLC that really didn't even matter.
We'll just have to settle this with the kickboxing tournament. Bree.
But I have the collector's edition if you want it.
Are you-
Borrow it. I really do. I have all of them if you want to play it.
Of the Bioshocks.
Bioshock, yeah.
I
have the
hear-
HD remastered clip.
Are you good at kickboxing? Like,
Because we're about to
if
throw down.
if we did a kickboxing tournament to determine
No,
if it's good or not.
Bioshock is my most favorite game in the world.
Yeah,
The
I hear
first
they're gonna make a
Bioshock.
The
movie
first
or
one.
a series
I'll
out
throw
of
a
it.
slight side out there. When I was younger, I played Arm Men on a Nintendo 64. Do you remember that game?
Yeah.
And the game's ending was, if you win, you make out with the sergeant's daughter, right? Like,
Jesus.
like it's just a scene.
like
it's
happens in real war.
Just you and the sergeant's daughter make out, and the camera spins around.
Tell me
And
what,
I was like,
son.
oh. And as a kid, I was like, oh, this is a boring ending. But then later on, like, you could enter cheats to like play. Like, it changed the main character model, so you could play as a different character.
Uh-huh.
But it changed it for the cinematic at the end too. So it's like, play as the Sarge. And you're like, oh my god,
no.
Sarge is making out with his daughter. Oh, that's gross. And it's like, wait a minute, I have an idea. Enter the code, play as the daughter. At the end, daughter making out with daughter.
Yeah.
For like
Jesus Christ.
middle school Jonathan, I was like, oh my. Like,
So
What am I
dirty.
doing?
I'm so naughty.
Like a Paris walking in, you like shut off the system. You're like, I was doing anything wrong, nothing. Okay, so Alm had mentioned in our Discord all Obsidian games he doesn't like the ending for. So the games do a really good job of like building a world, fleshing out a world. Think of like Fallout New Vegas. Think of like, the Old Republic 2. Think of again. I don't know that I agree, but this was Alm's point was that
I'm gonna sneeze.
all the endings
Sorry, keep going.
are like super hard to understand. Like they get real convoluted and weird after this long build up, and so Alm does not like the endings and a lot of Obsidian games. He mentioned other titles as well, but those are the ones that I could think of.
I mean, games with like multiple endings were like Fallout, Deus Ex Machina.
Yes.
You know, I don't know. I can't really.
I'm glad that you mentioned that. So prior to our little finale here, I do want to mention Mass Effect 3. That was the one that people really people
They
hated.
got butt
Not
hurt.
only did people hate it,
Like worse than Andromeda?
yes. People hated the ending of Mass Effect 3 so much that it changed the way that DLC is delivered.
I remember now.
It changed the course of gaming. It changed the dialogue between developer and gamer.
Yeah.
So like they wanted a different ending. They wanted a better ending, and so they made one.
Yeah. I remember that because I was in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I get it. I get why people didn't like the ending because all of Mass Effect 3 was about choice. Like about
because you
doing
could
stuff.
play the
and,
other ones and your choices would
and
matter.
Mass Effect 1 endings was awesome, and Mass Effect 2 ending was awesome, and everything connected to each other, and all three games were building up, and the characters were there or not, depending on what you'd done for like the last
that's how I
many
felt with
years.
Bioshock Infinite.
And it was all getting there, and then at the end it was like, which color do you want to see the ending cutscene in?
Yeah.
And people were like throwing their papers. Now, I had heard that it was so bad that by the time I played through Mass Effect 3 and I got to the end, I was like, oh, that was fine. Like, that was cool. It wrapped things up. And so I was okay, but everyone else was just like with it. So
Just raging over
Yeah.
it.
People were very upset.
Well, here's the problem with so Onitama says something pretty interesting. What bugs me a little about games is with multiple endings. A little though is when the devs announce like one is a canon. It kind of ruins my illusion of choice when the devs go okay, but that end isn't real. I'm gonna push back on that. Like, and I'm not pushing back really because I disagree, but like. When they do that, I think it's usually because they're like not anticipating a sequel or something like that, and then a sequel does come along because like, hey, it makes us money. We need to have some definite ending to build off of. I think is the common route.
So,
and I'm not saying I disagree with you. I'm trying to process that one a little.
the game that I think had the worst ending of any game I've ever played was one of my favorite games of all time. And
I see that usually with you.
Yeah. And it was Deus Ex Human Revolution. And I'll show you what happens. Deus Ex Human is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
And the second game, you get multiple choices. And the second game is vague enough to accommodate more or less any of them.
Okay.
And it's like, okay, so the rig you were on was destroyed. But if you didn't choose to destroy it, it was also like exploding anyway on your way out. So like it was damaged. So it's like you can sort of make it all work. But this is what happened. In Deus Ex Human Revolution, you play as this hacker, stealthy, assassin-y, shooty, techie, hacky guy.
Badass.
Steven's wet dream version of himself.
Jensen. Yeah, it's basically like, a guy ripping off like Neo mixed with Duke Nukem, I guess. And you have all this brilliant choice throughout the game. And you can tackle things in a number of different... Adam Jensen.
Yeah.
And you can tackle things in a number of different ways. And you can even come up with your own solutions to shit where you're like, oh, I'm supposed to infiltrate the police station, but tell you what, why don't I just convince this dude to let me in and then I don't have to sneak around?
Yeah.
And if you do, and you convince him, like have a conversation with the guy, you're like, oh, yeah, go on in, go grab your shit. But the game doesn't tell you can do that. You just figure that shit out on your own. Absolutely brilliant. A lot of the bosses, you don't even have to fight. You can just talk to them. Some of the bosses, you do have to fight. Which is shitty because the game should be... There are bosses that you don't have a choice but to non-stealthy shoot.
Choice.
Yeah, yeah. So you get to the end and it says, what do you want to do? Do you want to broadcast the signal that means this thing?
So it'll shutting down the signal though, that'll shut down everyone's mechanical abilities. Because basically there's a hack, there's a virus in each person who has an augmentation, and the choices is to shut down all the...
Yeah, you can end
augmentations.
You can
kill them all.
You can
kill the person.
You can
you can destroy like yourself and bring the whole thing down, or you could broadcast like a pro let's all have peace kind of signal kind of thing. Like augmentation is okay. Like you could sort of choose which way you wanted to shape the world.
Oh, okay.
And so that gives you this choice, and so you make the choice, and it fades to black.
Do I trust mankind to save itself? That's what Eliza was asking.
And
The
this
truth
is it. There's
I don't
no...
know.
It's just a series of
After
stock
everything I've
footage
seen,
and
all the
Adam
fighting
Jensen
and chaos around
monologuing
me,
just about random shit.
I only know
Maybe I
what
did the right
want to
thing.
believe.
Maybe I didn't. Maybe it was some bullshit all along. The future of mankind I'll put in the hands of the fuck...
After all of that,
I've faced
like,
many life
you don't see the place blow up. You don't see like the effects on the world. You don't have this like escape. You don't. It's
Your
just.
choice
It's
is
just
the
the choice.
made, but you don't see the
It's just inconclusive.
It's just like, oh, you made a choice. Fade to black, and here's some footage we pulled from the Discovery Channel.
Tried to keep my values
But I don't
in
see
mind.
what's wrong with that. I mean, it's made your decision inconclusive, so you don't really know what happened. I mean, which I kind of
Resisting the urge to
like.
abuse power.
You know?
Wait, isn't this showing you what happens?
No, this isn't like scenes of what happens in the.
This is just humanity.
Like
This is just
scenes
humanity.
of humanity that correlate to some of the themes that he's
That
talking
Like
about.
the riots.
But he's not explaining like, and this is what happened, and these are the things that occurred after.
Okay.
He's just like thinking about shit, and he
Now,
thinks
if you
about
had
different
made, If you
shit.
had made different choices.
Different choices have different stock footage with different shit that he thinks about.
Oh, okay, okay.
But it's all like after all of this stuff, I was thinking, especially because at the end, I sat there and I thought about my choice for like an hour and a half. It felt like an hour and a half. You know, so I'm like, oh my god, what do I do? What is the right thing to do? I was like, I'm gonna have it all I'm gonna sacrifice myself. It's all gonna come crashing down, and well, we're bringing this motherfucker down, and like pull the lever, and it fades to black, and you just hear like over a black screen, and like, show me the thing fucking blowing up. Like, give me like a movie, cinematic, because the rest of the game is like a hacker movie. It's so good.
Yeah.
And I just remember going like controller throwing mad. Like the most brilliant, thoughtful, great gameplay with there's some spotty parts of it. It's not perfect, but it's an amazing game. And it just went, thanks for playing. And
Okay.
why?
I didn't feel that
That's
way.
an interesting question. Would you rather play a terrible game with a good ending or a great game with a terrible ending?
That's a really good question.
I would rather play
What would
a
you
great
guys play?
game with a terrible ending.
Yeah?
Yeah, because then you could at least enjoy the full experience.
True.
Like,
Yeah.
package it.
Depends, like,
You
I
spend
mean-
more of your time enjoying it than
I-
Because
not.
I
like,
would say,
I-
like, Grand Theft Auto 5. I personally didn't like any of the endings. Like,
Really?
I mean, well, yeah, you get the choice to kill either one of them, and I'm
Yeah,
just like,
or none of them.
or none of them, and I'm just like, yeah, okay. Like, I knew that's how it was gonna be, so it's fine. Like, it's not really that big a deal.
Flip a
It's
coin.
Franklin's choice, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can either
And then I went and played
choose
through
Mike
all the
or
other
Trevor.
ones and killed. Oh, I killed Trevor first because he annoyed the crap out of me.
Trevor's an evil person.
Yeah, and then I killed everyone else, and I was just like, okay. But like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And then I played Red Dead Redemption, and I was like, "This is a beautiful ending."
Red Dead Redemption is
And that's where I
true.
think I play games, generally speaking, for a story. And if the gameplay is clunky and unfun, but I'm enjoying the story and I get the ending, I basically played an interactive movie.
Because in a way, you could
So-
say The Last of Us was kind of bad, just because it leaves you on that cliffhanger. And like now,
and I love The
for
Last of Us
so
ending.
many years, and now we get the second one.
Whoops.
By and far, worst game ending ever is Until Dawn, my playthrough.
Oh!
Where I fucking pooed the scrooch on that one.
Jonathan spent the entire game figuring everything out.
I was ahead. I was like, I fucking know you, Wendigos.
You need to play the new one.
We're going to.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm not playing it. I think
Sarah's gonna
playing
control.
it, but like same crew as that first stream.
Yeah, same crew.
But yeah, but I remember I did so good. I was picking up on the Wendigos. I was like, oh, I remember those things mimic voices, and someone's calling my voice from down at that cave. Fuck no, that ain't no. And like, sure enough,
Yeah.
I was like,
Figured it out.
I was smart.
And in,
Everyone survived.
And the last QuickTime event, literally 5 seconds from credits. Literally 5 seconds from credits. It
Could've changed the
drifts, and you're supposed to compensate for the drift.
And
he thought he just had to hold the controller perfectly still. And so he wasn't watching the drift, he was just holding perfectly still. And in the last 5 seconds, his favorite character died after
like,
saving all of the
and
people
all
he
the
didn't
other-
like.
All the sleuth bags get saved by her, and then she gets iced.
So
iced,
Jonathan was
iced
like
baby.
feeling good, figuring everything out on this roller coaster of emotion and feeling great, and then at the end of the game just felt punched in the gut.
Literally, because that's what happened to her. She got punched in the gut.
Yeah, she got
She
Superman
got
all the way through.
kebabbed. And that's the worst game ending ever.
20-minute stealth update. Oof. I'm so sorry. Guys, thank you for hanging out with us tonight. The last thing that we do before we call it a night is this is the Gutter Nerds Fan Can. This is just random ass questions that you guys ask us. If you want to add a question to the Fan Can, and please do, tweet us at Gutter Nerds using the hashtag FanCan. Ask us anything. I'll throw it in here and we'll
You're really
answer
avant-garde
a
with that
question.
can, and considering
Yeah.
you flung that bad boy open like momentarily.
Alex, Jim, and Amon. Open a question. Ask away.
All right. Fan can question of the day is, what is your favorite game no one has heard of or played? Okay, I like that. I like that question.
That's a good question. So we used to play this game when we were 12 called Ookie Mouth, where you try to spit in the other person's mouth,
That's
and they have to say Ookie Mouth while they try to
That
spit.
is
Okay,
so
South Park.
disgusting.
This is a South Park game. I'm
Now,
sorry.
is this a video game? Are we talking
No.
video games?
So it's pretty open. I was actually trying to think of a game that like we created as kids that we just play. That's from South Park. I was trying to think of a game though like that we created as kids. But also, if you have a game like a video game that
I
like
know that game, and
no
I
one
like
knows,
it.
Which
Sengoku Basara.
Okay, nice.
What was it? Read the question.
What's your favorite video game that you've played that no one else has
It's
probably
just his
heard
favorite
of?
game, I
Just
think.
like a rare niche game. You know, maybe something that you
Yeah.
played when you were little.
I mean, I guess now it's kind of big because they redid it, but I would say Catherine.
Catherine? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, like maybe now, but like before, like no one ever knew what I was talking about.
I don't know if this is really one that no one has ever played, but I think it's more under the radar. Is Spec Ops: The Line?
Okay.
Absolute
no
brilliant
idea what
story.
you're
Wonderful game. Wonderful game. Play that game. EDF says Game Guy.
So-
Earth Defense Force. This is Minecraft
two of actually there's two games. It's Phantom Crash and then SLAI. They're made by the same people basically, but just two different games. And it's a mech game. And you can suit up your mech. You can customize the fuck out of it. Like, it was really cool. You can change the body style to be
They have a
bulky
game
or
like that on the
heavy.
Switch now.
Yeah,
It's called Daemon X Machina. It's out.
This is
Okay,
hard.
I'm gonna check it out then.
This is a tough
But it's really cool. You can like change the legs from like tanks or to like spider legs, so you can either move faster or be more maneuverable. It's really cool.
Oh, that's cool.
But it's I can't find
cool.
any
You
game
know
like it,
Catherine
so
disappointed
I'm gonna have to
me?
look at that in Armored Core.
It did?
Because it has
loved
multiple
Armored
endings.
Core.
Yeah.
That's true.
So like you can make all your choices to have like an ending in Catherine.
You know,
So here's a game that no one ever played. Actually, I have a better answer than my last one. It's a game called Ghost Hunter on PS2. And it's sort of like a Ghostbusters game before the Ghostbusters game like came out, but it's its own thing. But it has that humor and the horror. Like, it's funny. The characters are like super personable. The dialogue is great. I remember the acting being good. The gameplay's fine, but if you can find it on PS2 or like maybe find an emulator or something, because it is a weird game. But I just remember being like, this is wonderful. And like, No one I ever heard. No one I know is like.
You know,
has
it's
ever
at
played it.
GameStop. Just want to let you know if you want to get it.
Ghost Hunter is.
Yeah.
I think for me, the answer I'm gonna have to go to a childhood game that I played and took me forever to beat, and nobody else had heard of it a whole lot that I was aware of at the time. And it was such a doofy game, and I've semi-recently replayed it. It was not as good as it was.
That's how it always is.
Mystical Ninja starring Goemon.
Oh,
I've
on
seen
64.
It. That's the ninja with the purple suit, right?
It had
Yeah, he looks like a little chibi guy.
Yeah.
And it was such a weird game as a kid, and I was like, I don't get this. And it was all this Japanese. It was like a game that was made in Japan for Japan that somehow someone was like, sneak it over to America.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't get any of the humor. It's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I love it. And as a kid, I just played the hell out of it.
So, Pulpery said the Suikoden games. Those are strategy games, right?
Suikoden.
On PS1 and PS2. And A-Stone says Vigor. Anisama says it picked up more traction in recent years, but probably To the Moon, which I've never heard of, which I guess would be the point of this question. Gitaru Man, I do remember Gitaru Man. Mystical Ninja is a huge series in Japan.
Oh, I know it. Here's my game. Descent for the
Descent
PC.
for PC, and it was also on N64, where you're in the little ship.
And you have to navigate mazes and shoot other robots and collect parts. Oh my god, I played that game at my grandma's house all the time as a kid. Specifically Descent 2.
It was hard, too.
I've heard that there's a indie group of people who are looking to remake it for like...
That's why I love indie developers.
But the Descent game was so much fun, and it was so hard.
Yeah.
It's RPG mostly, but it has some strat elements. Okay.
Thief.
Baldur's Gate 2, Shadow of Amun, says Sis. Oh, and Anisama says To the Moon is an RPG Maker game by a composer called Ken Gao about two scientists who work with terminally ill patients who visit and alter memories to fulfill a final wish. Shit. That sounds like a great-ass game.
Oh, it's really
cute. If you want another fun little game that people may never have heard of, there's a small PC game called Paganitsu, and you're this little Indiana Jonesian adventure, except your name is like Illinois Smith. And it's like this 2D puzzler, and it's super fun. I'd highly recommend looking. In fact, I want you to check it out later. But I remember playing that game as well a whole lot as a kid, and it was really, really tough, and absolutely loved it.
What was the name of it? What was the name of it?
The Paganitsu.
Oh, Paganitsu. Okay. Wait, was that the one that you said that you're trying to remember that one time that you played with like your dad? It was like an old NES game with a weird
Tower
name.
Defense.
Balloon Tower Defense.
Yeah.
NES.
Oh, Untitled Goose Game. So it's because we just got a Switch. Nerdez really wants to play Untitled Goose Game. I've heard some really fun things about that.
I love playing Balloon Tower Defense on what was it? It was a flash game on.
I played Thief on Xbox One, A-Stone. Oh, Congregate.
Yeah, Congregate.
It was Congregate. Okay. JB, you want a good one. I understood Mystical Ninja starring Goemon was even less since I couldn't read English either. Right. Almost best. Okay, guys. So next week, let me tell you what we're talking about next week. And I have it right here on tap where I remember things all the time. Next week, we're going to be talking about Stadia and the future of gaming. So we're going to talk about game streaming. We're going to talk about where we see gaming going in the future. Is it going to remain like it is?
Alive now?
Stadia is
that game streaming
is Google's system, but I don't know if it's
is it live
currently live.
Oh, okay.
It might still be testing.
Stadia
but we're
is
going to
what Google is doing.
Yeah.
It's like Apple, like everybody's making their own streaming thing for games.
A game streaming service.
Like
where it doesn't matter what your PC specs are, it matters what your network connection is, and you can play whatever.
Yeah.
You guys think about where you think the future of games is going. Is it VR? Is it streaming? Will it not change? And it's going to be kind of November. Thank you, Paul. I appreciate that. Feel free to follow us on social media. If you haven't followed us here on Mixer, please feel free to do so now. Share us with someone. We're building our Mixer presence. So I had a blast with you guys. Thanks for hanging out.
Yeah, always.
Yeah, guys.
My name is Steve-O.
I'm Jamin Amon.
JB.
I'm Reese and Pie.
And we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.